Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 261. In this episode, we're going to talk all about our Halloween experiences because here we are getting closer and closer to Halloween 2022. We're also going to be talking, giving you a little update on Bayonetta 3. It's been quite the news surrounding it over the last couple of weeks. We're also going to be talking all about the Nintendo Switch Online updates and so much more. But before we get into any of that, we should probably just introduce ourselves. Maybe if you're new to the podcast, my name is Steve, and so great to be back here and talking with video games with you guys. Also joined by Barry. How you doing, Barry?
Hey, Steve. Always a pleasure.
And of course, joined by Greg as well. Hey, Greg.
Hiya! I thought you were going to actually say a new special guest link, but I guess we'll settle for Greg.
That'll work too. That's what you did was remind me all of a sudden I had memories of like 200 episodes ago when we were like all shouting Link. And I can't remember why we were doing that, but all I remember was I was at a previous house and I was in my basement recording. And I remember my wife comes running down the stairs, like thinking like I was in pain or something because we were just all shouting like Link.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, here we are recording this episode 261 on October 17th. Actually, no, sorry, 24th. I'm a week behind. October 24th, 2022. Time traveling again. But not a whole lot of news, but we have several things to talk about tonight. Just before we get into any of that, though, if you have not joined us on social media, we are at NintendoFuse. Pretty active on Twitter. We're on other platforms as well, but Twitter's our main social media, so make sure you join us over there. And if you have not joined us on Discord, be sure to join us on that Discord server as well. The link is going to be on the screen, but also in our show notes and the YouTube description. And speaking of YouTube, we are going live right now. We record this live every other Monday, pretty much. That's basically our schedule, with few exceptions, on YouTube and Twitch. And you can join the live chat when we go live and chat about all of the information, the games that we've been playing, the games you've been playing, the games that the news and stuff like that we're going to talk about. Throw all your thoughts in the chat, and we interact with you guys throughout the show as much as we can. And if you miss the live episodes, that's cool. Just let us know what you think in the YouTube YouTube comments. That's what they're called. YouTube comments as well. And if you have not subscribed here on YouTube, on your favorite podcast app, be sure to do that and hit that bell as well so you can be alerted every time we go live. But before we get into our first segment of what we have been playing, we need to announce a little giveaway because Barry had a recent interview that's been 6 years running, and we got another giveaway to do in connection with that. So Barry, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so got to sit down with my good buddy Dan Butchko, the CEO of Playcrafting, for our annual industry talk. Usually this happens in the summertime, but now it's November, so we sat down to talk all about the latest Play NYC, which is dropping November 5th of this year. It's happening November 5th. It's a one-day show, 12 to 6 in Manhattan. I think it's a Chelsea Theater. So what we did is, first off, we discussed all the events that were going on. And for those that don't know, Play NYC is a wonderful show where you get to sit there and play indie-developed games with the actual developer presenting it. So you can give immediate feedback, you can ask questions, you can, really just interact with the creative minds. It's such a fun show. So check out that interview first and foremost to find out all the new things happening. But every year they're very, very gracious to us and very generous to us to allow us to do a giveaway. So we're going to be giving away some tickets. These tickets will not only include the show, but also the after party. There's an after party that's going to go from 6 to 9. And that after party is pretty much for the developers as well as anybody with these special tickets. So you can go ahead and you just go to the after party and hang out. But if you don't win or you don't want to, bother, we do have a special code. So if you use NintendoFuse 25, you'll get 25% off either ticket, the normal day pass ticket, or the one with the industry party. But we will be doing a giveaway on Twitter, so stay tuned to our Twitter, and you can enter, and hopefully you win. And if you win, maybe I'll see you there.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be posting that pretty soon. So if you have not followed us on Twitter, make sure you do that. And as soon as you see that tweet, go ahead and interact with it, like it, and share it, and all the stuff, and you'll get entered into that drawing. Barry, how long are we going to run this contest? Is it going to be a week, or what do you think?
I think a week is probably best, Monday to Monday, or till next Tuesday or whatever, because it's next Saturday, November 5th. So we want to make sure that the winners have a chance to go ahead and confirm that they're going to be there. And of course, if you do win, we're going to need your full name, your email address, and what we'll do is we'll put you onto a list that they're going to have, and I'm not sure if he's going to send out a mass email or you just show up and your name will be on a VIP list as giveaway winners. And hopefully you enjoy the show.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, we'll basically on Halloween we'll kind of announce those winners and get in touch with you guys. They're that or November 1st, one or the other, next Monday or Tuesday. So if you're listening to this after the fact, sorry you missed out. You gotta listen sooner or watch sooner. So hopefully you guys have fun, and you'll probably see Barry there. So if you do, make sure you say hi, and I don't know, maybe he'll do something cool if you see him. I don't know.
It's like a matter, he'll steal you back home and lock you in his basement.
God,
that could also
That's
happen.
only for Hassan. I only have room for one person.
He's still down there.
Still down there.
Somehow he's gotten married and has a kid, but still locked in your basement.
And still doing videos of
your
toys.
basement's like pretty cool though. So if I'm gonna be locked anywhere, that's not a bad place to be, surrounded by a bunch of retro video games.
Oh no, you would not get bored. Plenty of games to play.
Nice. Well, let's talk about what we have been playing, and I think we got quite a bit on our list. We also got a game that we're going to be reviewing today in our game chat segment. But Barry, go ahead and kick us off today with what you have been playing.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I actually went back to Animal Crossing for a very, very brief moment. There's a new spooky recipe. So I went in there, took me 2 days to get it, and I was like, okay. Killed the cockroaches, pulled some weeds, and called it quits. So who knows when I'll be back on it, but it was like a throwback. I'm like, oh, I'm actually going to talk about Animal Crossing again. Still doing Pokemon Unite, just my daily stuff, having some fun still with that. Pokemon Shield got new codes for Pokemon, so I had to hop in there and put those in, but I didn't really play much, but I did boot it up. A game called Family Man, which is an interesting game just to mess around with. It's the only negative for me is it's first person, because I'm just not a big first person guy, but it's like Grand Theft Auto, but you take on the jobs so you make money for your family, but you're kind of doing this and your family has no idea what you're doing. And really interesting opening as it speeds through your life, from picking your partner to getting married to having kids to getting involved with the mob. But it's an RPG too, and it lets you, you can see somebody in there, in Grand Theft Auto you could just beat the crap out of a random person. Well, this time if you see they're level 5 and you're level 1 and you try to fight them, they will probably kick your butt. So you got to level up before you can just randomly beat on people. So it's a little more strategic than just standard Grand Theft Auto. Last time I had expected to have finished Trails from Zero. I had not finished. Well, now I have. Finally finished Trails from Zero. Absolutely love this game. Cannot wait for the second half, Trails from Azure, which is in March of next year. So really looking forward to that. And if you just need a really good JRPG, you can't go wrong with the Trails of series, the Legend of Heroes. Talk about an interconnected, awesome world. A lot of fun with that. Played some Carl, which we'll talk about here shortly. A little Oddworld Soulstorm, which we'll talk more about next podcast. Mario and Rabbids. Mario and Rabbids finally came in, and I have been pretty hooked on this game. I'm trying to 100% it. It still gives me a little bit of motion sickness. The first one did this, and Captain Toad did this, and I don't know why. I think it's just the weird confined areas or the way the camera works. But I'm pushing through because I'm just having so much fun with this game. I'm curious where Steve is now. I'm on the fourth world, and I'm about halfway through the fourth world. So I don't know. Like I think I'm like 57% done according to my save slot, but I'm just having a blast with this. Like it's so much better than the first game, and I like the first one too. But I'm really having fun with this. Booted up the N64 app for some Pilot Wing 64, which dropped, and I, absolutely had to just relive some of that. I didn't do a lot with it, but I made sure to show my wife all the little Easter eggs and the Little America and fly around in Birdman and try and go for some golds, and it's just so many memories. It's such a good game. And then on the PC, Final Fantasy XIV dropped a new update, so I've been doing that, and I got back together with my static to run some dungeons, which was a lot of fun. And of course, on the mobile, still doing Mario Kart Tour.
Nice. Jakester says he's been playing the main story of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky, and about to finish the post-game story, continuing Mother 3, and started Paper Mario 60. I'm guessing he means Paper Mario, yep. Paper 64 for the first time. So cool. Greg, how about you?
Not terribly long of a list this time around. I actually loaded up the Switch for a few different games this time around. So I had pretty short sessions with What the Golf and also Rain on Your Parade. My daughter Belle was just really fascinated. She saw them in my backlog of games when I was looking for a game to play that I hadn't fired up yet. She's like, "Oh, let's play this one again." And then so had a little bit of fun with that. Those two gems. Definitely check out Rain on Your Parade. You can get a physical edition with a premium edition. And from there, I also finally loaded up Splatoon 3. So I kind of created my character, did some battles, and I not the best matchmaking process, I think, at least, because they really encourage you to do an online battle before you really unlock everything, like the stores and everything. So I was definitely matched with some really power heavy players, and there's nothing like just leaving your base and getting splatted instantaneously. So it's definitely wasn't enjoying that aspect of it when I barely even trying to get refreshed on all the controls and everything. So I'll probably can't wait to dive into the story mode, because that's usually what I buy the game for. So I want to at least unlock the shops and stuff so that I can get some equipment and gear and stuff ready for story mode. Then I was also playing Carl, which we'll be talking about more in depth later. And then finally still going with Fire Emblem Heroes and Roblox with Belle when time permits. So not a terribly long list, but I'm pretty confident that the next time I'll have plenty more games to add, as I'll have some time off for scheduled over the next 2 weeks.
Nice. I've been playing Lego Brick Tales. Got a review code for that one, and I got my review up over on NintendoFuse.com. But I really like the concept of the game, but the brick building is just fell flat for me. Unfortunately, it was really complicated and made it much more complicated to build than it should have been. Just because it was hard to tell where the bricks were, and you're trying to put it in the right spot. But the concept is great. It's made by the same people that made Bridge Constructor, and so the idea is you're trying to build, not just anything, but a lot of times it is, trying to build some sort of bridge construction, and it's fun, but it was so much more complicated than it needed to be. So that's I didn't give it the greatest review, mainly because of that. But I love the concept of it for sure. So if they're somehow able to improve that, which I think there is supposed to be a patch coming out really soon, so perhaps it fixes some of that. And if it does, awesome. And I will let you guys know for sure. Also been playing Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope a little more, and I haven't finished it. It is incredibly difficult not to get sucked into these side quests. then before I knew it, I was like trying to 100% the first world, and I was like, Steve, like you've got to finish more of this game so you can review it. But I was like, I don't care. I'm just doing all the side quests as much as I can, and one of them even requires you to go to like the next world and then come back. And I was like, so I did. Yeah, I think I'm about the same. I think in terms of overall progress, I'm about the same spot as you are, Barry, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I shouldn't have too much left in terms of the actual overall main story, but I keep getting sucked into the side quests that prevent me from carrying on, and some of them are like super simple, and I think, oh, I can do this and I'll just get the sparks or whatever that I need from this and move on. And then other times I'll get sucked into some other like full on story that does this thing and then another thing, and then like hours go by and I'm like, oh right, I need to finish the rest of this game. So yeah, I'm having a blast with it. And yeah, as I said in my review, I never thought I would ever say anything like that about a tactical game, but this is so different, and really enjoying it. So yeah, I think there's like a couple little things I noted in my review as well that are like tiny little things that are small mistakes, like that they could easily fix. Like it's funny that and it really doesn't matter at all. But I don't know if Barry, if you noticed, but when the characters are going in like a cave or in a door or something like that, sometimes they turn and face the wrong way. I don't know why.
I didn't
but
notice that.
Yeah, it's dumb, and it's so simple and small that it doesn't affect the overall experience with the game at all. But it's like, how did they not catch that? So, but yeah, it's such a fun game, and do highly recommend it. And then yeah, I played Carl, and which we'll talk about in just a second, and of course some Rocket League and some Clash Royale as well, continuing to progress and all that stuff in there. If you guys play Clash Royale, there's apparently supposed to be a new update coming very, very soon with new characters and all this new stuff and everything. So we'll see how it goes. Sometimes those updates, those games are not well accepted, so we'll see how it goes this time. Looks like yeah, people are just talking about your hat in the chat. Looks like so. Yeah, Greg. It's not just tinfoil.
This is the full link hat. It's got the little thing on the end.
I don't remember like why. What's the context of him thinking you wear a tinfoil hat?
I had made some sort of post, I think, a while back, like trying to predict like a direct or something. I think it was definitely over a year or two ago. It might have been before COVID even. I'm not sure completely, but I know there was one podcast where I was kind of pretending to like put on a tinfoil hat. Maybe it was like the predictions or something, or maybe that's what it was, like the year's predictions. Might have been either this January or previous January, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember that at all. And I was like, why is that a thing? So maybe he'll tell us. Apparently, you're apparently really skeptical. There it is in the chat. Really skeptical about Paper Mario and Origami King's first reveal. And well, you know
There
what?
you go.
That seemed to be a very logical skepticism. Yeah, that's the word. Skepticism.
That was a long time ago
Yeah.
too.
That's what I was saying. I think that was like right the first few months of COVID, because of Origami King was just that shadow drop. So
It's true. Well, let's jump into our game chat for this episode, and we're going to be talking all about Carl. So, Barry, tell us a little more about this game, and then we'll get into our discussion.
So Carl is a 2D platformer with that kind of mixes Mario with Mega Man with a little bit of Metroid. This is from the YouTuber Andrew Kennedy, also known as Nintendo, as well as Morningstar Game Studio, the studio that brought such lovable titles like A Robot Named Fight. They teamed up to create this wonderful, charming game, pretty much, where you play the role as Carl. Carl is kind of tossed into this area called the Dump. It's like a city and underneath a factory, Kent Industries, and your objective is to figure out what is going on at Kent Industries and assist your maker into to uncovering all the foils and helping the residents in the dump. Each level, there's 4 different worlds. Each level has a ton of different hidden secrets and collectibles, and thankfully it does show you before you enter what secrets and collectibles are there and which ones you found. It's got an electro chiptune soundtrack, which is really cool and pumping, and there's different upgrades and different abilities as you go through, and it's just a really interesting game that, for me personally, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. But I want to hear from you guys. Greg, what are your thoughts?
I definitely share that same sentiment. Like I wasn't quite sure what I was be getting into, and then when I started playing it, it was completely phenomenal. So like I really like those like chiptune like the like techno music. So I was like really like jamming. Like I wish I had a copy of the soundtrack even because I was enjoying it so much. Like I was actually playing around on like the jukebox character like in the tavern or whatever, and that was just a lot of fun. Just like listening to the music that I'd unlocked and hoping to unlock all the tracks later on and when I continue playing. But I only made it through like the first world and the first few levels of the second world, but I could definitely tell that there was a lot of effort put into each level. They're all like handcrafted and they all show like their like Barry said, all the collectibles you can find, and then you kind of want to go back in and find them if you somehow missed them. There's these interactive switches that unlock different parts of the level, so they'll be doing some backtracking, like the Metroid style um, design. But everything is contained like in like a singular level where like you'll once you get all the required items, then you just go through the exit and then you can go on to the next stage. So I really like that format, and it was really cool to be able to just kind of go around searching for all these items, along with having make it back to the exit without dying. And certainly was very appreciative of the mid-level checkpoints because there's a few levels that get kind of tedious to get through certain very particular sections, even in the first world, and it's really a blessing to have and not have to restart the entire level from the beginning. And it even saves any collectibles you made if you don't make it to the next checkpoint as well too. So that was very nicely received. So you're not constantly redoing some of the really hard sections over and over again if you continue to die. But
What about you, Steve?
Um, so as I first started this game, I had the thought this is like the Walmart version of Mega Man. And then as I played it, I go, nope, that was just the first couple levels. And then the difficulty ramped up. I'm stuck at the boss of the first world. I cannot get by him. I don't know why. I feel like I needed to take a break because I just kept failing and failing and failing. I was like, okay, fine. I just need to take a break and step away. So I haven't gone back to it yet. But yeah, I think I found myself. The good thing is, like Greg said, that there are lots of checkpoints because there are a lot of times that I made stupid mistakes. And I think half the time I'll blame it on me. I was like, Steve, that was dumb. Like you knew that grinder or wheel or hole or whatever was there, and you still jumped down there and you made that mistake on your own. The other time, I feel like the controls aren't exactly as spot on as they need to be for that kind of precision. There's times where jumping, for instance, I felt like I just barely tapped my jump and I still jumped too high and ended up jumping into a razor thing or whatever it was and killed me. Or sometimes I felt like I jumped. So I don't know if it's my controller or what. But yeah, I feel like the precision wasn't exactly spot on as it needed to be. However, because of all the checkpoints and all the save points, I was able to just quickly spawn and try it again. And I eventually got through it. So it wasn't as frustrating as it could have been if it like took me back to the very beginning. If that was the case, I would have been very, very frustrated with that sort of thing. But because of that, yeah, it was not a huge deal, and I got more mad at myself than anything else. I was like, I shouldn't have made that stupid mistake. But yeah, I feel like the difficulty ramped up pretty steadily, and then it hit that boss, and I don't know, like he just keeps throwing like wrenches and hammers and everything else at me, and it's hard to dodge them enough when I need to, and I keep getting hit. Like I guess he throws the wrenches that give you life sometimes, but it comes so quick that I can't judge what it is, and I end up jumping out of the way thinking it's something that's going to hurt me, and so like I need to like figure out the timing right. And yeah, I was just getting frustrated earlier, so I had to step away. But yeah, it's overall it's fun. I'm glad that it's not a full price game, so I'm not expecting like a $50-$60 kind of product, but it was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. And yeah, don't let the first couple levels like turn you off because you think it's going to be easy. It does get a lot more difficult.
So, Steve, did you fully explore the dump area? Because there is like a armory where you can upgrade your abilities, and then so you can shoot more powerful bullets, you can shoot faster, and whatnot.
So that's the thing. I feel like, yeah, because I got something that said, hey, you can go upgrade, and then I found some guy that's supposed to upgrade, and he didn't have an upgrade for me, and so there must be somewhere else. So I don't know.
You have to collect medals.
Yeah, the armory one is harder to find, and you should have 2 medals that you find in the first 4 levels, and then you can upgrade all 3 of those stats that I referenced, like in the armory. The armory is kind of like at the top, and it's by where you'll go for World 2. You actually have to kind of navigate your way up above
I went to the top, but
bar.
maybe I don't know.
It's like a little like green like building or something.
Yeah, I thought I made it there. It's like a tent kind of thing, right?
I think that might be the fortune teller's tent.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that was it. I made it that
go
too.
Higher than that.
But I think that's probably that's the thing. It's a little bit frustrating. Is it's not, you have to like fully explore, and sometimes in that overworld map that it's not everything is like really obvious where you need to go, and I don't quite. I mean, I guess it's okay, but I was like slightly turned off that the levels you have to like back out of and go back into and everything. I was just like, just move me on in the next level. I don't want to have to go back and explore and then come back in. So all these things are little nitpicks. I mean, hopefully you guys are hearing that. They're all little nitpicks. The overall game is fun for sure.
Steve wants his handheld is what he's saying.
Nice. Oh, I need my handheld through that boss. It's kicking my butt.
So I will say that first boss was the hardest boss in the game for me. And I did it. I found the armory, but I actually didn't find any medals. The first time I went through the first world, I didn't find any medals. I'm like, well, maybe it's something that appears later on. Like I kind of went through. I didn't fully explore, and I did that. First off, getting to the boss was like Super Mega Man challenging platforming. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I got there and I died, and I just had to take a step away, and I came back and I beat it without any power ups. Just got the pattern down, and I felt so accomplished. And of course, like Mega Man, you do get a power up when you beat every boss. Every boss gives you a power up. And then I didn't upgrade until somewhere in the second world when we found a medal, and I went back and I was like, oh, now I could upgrade. And I think by the third world, because I was hooked, by the third world, I beat the third boss, and then I went back and I 100%ed the first 3 worlds and got everything and upgraded everything. And when you're fully upgraded, the rest of it's a joke. Like you just blow when you fully upgraded like the weapon, like the boss is like, I'm gonna get you, and you sit there and you like hold the button and you kill them in like 3 seconds. Like so they make it so that you can make it easier for yourself, but you have to farm the chips. So you have to grind a little to get the chips. But at the same time, you could choose not to get those upgrades if you want more of a challenge. And I did, play it on the easy as well, so you can obviously up it. But the game is decently length. Like it was longer than I expected, which was good. It took me maybe 6 to 8 hours. just going through and just having fun. Like, and there was no real, even the grind was fun. It was weird.
You said you played on easy. There was a difficulty selection.
Maybe
There
maybe there
wasn't.
I
I
don't
was.
didn't
remember that.
see.
No,
Okay.
then I wasn't. Then I guess I just played on normal.
Okay. I was like,
But
where
I
did I
was.
miss this? I and this is only because I have played this boss so many times, but I don't like that I have to sit through the dialogue every stinking time either. Like I'm like, I've read this 20 times. I could almost recite it from memory of what he says to me because I've seen it so many times because he keeps kicking my butt.
See, so since I was like fully powered up as high as I could be, because
No,
once I
I'm
beat the
not.
second level, I went back to the first level and found all the hidden items, like all the secrets, and then pretty much as I beat each level, I would, if I didn't get it on the first run, I would go back and get the
Mm,
missing items on a second playthrough. So then you usually get
You
like
were smart.
another 150 chips or whatever, like for each run, and so I
mm.
was able to fully stay up to speed with all the upgrades and health upgrades. So I beat the first boss on the first try, but getting to the first boss, I died like, I don't know, at least like 20 times because
Mm.
I was not ready for like scroll screening, speed running
Yeah.
mayhem. Like,
Yeah. When you hit that, it's like go, go, go. And you're like, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah.
But it adds to that challenge.
It definitely does. Yeah, so I basically I have one life upgrade and that's all I have. So that's
Oh.
probably why I'm also getting killed all the time.
Well, I think there's only one life upgrade at that point anyway.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
only
I've
two
not
total.
upgraded
I mean,
anything
yeah,
else. My weapon, all that stuff is still
Yeah.
basic. So I need to go back and grind apparently.
yeah, all
Yeah.
mine are
I,
level 2, so like it was baited the boss really easy.
yeah. You also get other power-ups as you go on. You get there's a thing you can get that halves all damage. You can get up to 10 hearts. You can get upgrades to each of the abilities that you get from the bosses. Well, at least 3 of the abilities you get from the bosses. And yeah, I don't want to say what those are because that's kind of spoilery, but just know that there's a lot of upgrades, there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot to collect. Even getting, like, I don't even know how to get all the music. That's the one area I didn't get all the music on because I'm like, oh, I have to find it, you know, just where is it? Because I got all the CDs and I'm like, where are the, like, the last 8 tracks or whatever?
Hmm.
So I'm not sure, but that's where it makes me want to go back in and look and find and yeah, the like I said, it took me anywhere from 6 to 8 hours to I think I ended with like 92%. I tried 100%, but 92%. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. But I had a blast. So just for you, if you're listening to this now, Carl is right now on the eShop. It's 14.99. It's not on sale. It's 14.99. This did come out September 29th, so it's a very recent game. Again, Morningstar Game Studios is the developer and the publisher, with Nintendo as well, working with them. So let's just go, Greg. Recommendation, is this something you say yes at 14.99, wait for a sale, or no, not at all?
I actually would say yes at 14.99. Like you were saying, there's 4 different worlds, and each world has many things to collect. So I think like that's a pretty good like time frame, and I've really enjoyed every minute of it. So I would definitely think it's worth it at its asking price. But obviously, if you get a sale, then it's definitely more than worth it.
Hmm.
All right, what about you, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's definitely it's a fun game, and one thing that we didn't mention as well, like this game's got some really funny humor
Oh
in it
yeah.
as well in the dialogue, and so if you like platforming, if you like a Mega Man kind of a game, this is going to be up your alley. But also it's got some really funny humor in the dialogue, which is just adds to the experience as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to echo both of you. I think the game is honestly a steal at 14.99. Like I played $60 games and had a lot less fun than I had with this. Like again, I went into it. I'm like, I'm not sure what to expect. I'm gonna give it the first world a shot, especially with that boss. And it was like right after that boss, it clicked with me even more. As I'm like, all right, let me try the second world, and then it just got better and better and better, and it never stopped. And the each world has its own gimmicks, which is really cool. They're all different settings. There are different parts of the factory. There's even some like Mega Man 5 Gravity Man style in some of the levels where you have gravity puzzles, and it's really well done. like you said, the humor, the gameplay, the level design. And it's not one of those games where you're like, oh, I'm a genius at video games. I'll figure out everything, because there's going to be at least one level that's going to have you running around in circles. Where's that last item, or where's that switch I missed? Because it's going to be there. But yeah, I think that's unanimous from all of us that we definitely recommend you check out Carl, which is available right now on the Switch. It's also available on Steam, PS4, and Xbox as well.
Cool. Well, let's jump into the news, and I had some fun with our rundown for us three earlier. I put the lack of news discussion because there really wasn't a whole lot of news going on this last couple weeks between episodes. But it is October 24th. And officially 2 weeks after Barry's birthday. And so Halloween is coming up really soon. And so I thought it'd be fun to talk about Halloween and stuff like that. Greg is in full costume tonight, so he's ready for Halloween. Has got his Link costume already. What have you guys done in connection with video games and Halloween and stuff like that? What have you guys done before? So, Greg, how about you kick us off, because you've got your costume, you're ready to go. Do you normally dress as a video game character for Halloween, or is this first time? What's your experience with all that?
Well, pretty much since we had like the main website and we had that sweatshirt, I wore that Mario hoodie for pretty much every year. And then this year I wanted to go much different this time around. So I actually sought out to find this Link costume. So I was like looking on Amazon, and it's like by like Disguise or something like that. And it seemed like it was pretty reasonably priced, and there's different sizes available. So I pretty much found like a full set like that had this costume. So like it has like Link's traditional hat with like the little thing on it. It even has the sash, and there's like a belt that I'm not gonna stand up. But then separately, I did order some extra pieces, so like nothing would be complete without Link's Hylian shield. It's plastic, not metal. And same thing with Master Sword. It's plastic sword, no metal blade. I'm not gonna cut myself on camera or anything like that. It's just standard like pointy kind of thing that could go with the costume. So this year I'll be walking around my neighborhood dressed as Link with my daughter, and she'll be like a little unicorn. So it'll be kind of fun to be exploring the village together. So Kakariko Village out here.
Nice. That's Barry, you ever done anything video game related for Halloween?
I mean, when I was a kid, I'm trying to even remember if I ever did. I don't even know if I did that as a kid, but I don't often dress up for Halloween. But I did one year recently, a couple of years ago. My wife used to do cosplay. We used to do New York Comic Con a lot, and she decided to make herself an Eevee costume because she loves Eevee. So I, of course, had to be Pokemon trainer. So she was, my Pokemon. So I have for the viewing, I do have a picture where I was Pokemon trainer and she was Eevee, and that was as close as I got really to anything like that. And I still have the costume. I mean, I still have the outfit. I had the badges and everything like that. And people were like, "Oh my god!" Like at New York Comic Con, because I also cosplayed there too. Like you beat the Elite Four and have all the badges with only an Eevee. Why didn't you evolve her? I'm like, I don't need to. Don't worry about it. But like that's about as close as I ever did.
Yeah. I was thinking, I didn't dress up as a video game character when I was little. There was a couple of years when I was a Ninja Turtle, so I guess they're in video games, but it's not really why I dressed up, because I like the cartoon. That's why. Yeah, I'd never dressed up as any sort of video game character until I got older. So I do have my wife and I have a Pac-Man, and so I have a Pac-Man costume, and she's one of the ghosts, I think Pinky, and then, or maybe Inky, the blue one, and then I think that was my first video game costume that I ever had, except for the hoodie that Greg and I have as well. So I think that was it. But I've over the last few years, this has all been as an adult, um, but as I get older, I get more into Nintendo. So I did have a couple years where I did stuff with pumpkins. I'll go ahead and like show this on the screen. This was my wife did the Peach one, and I did the Raccoon Mario, and that was a couple years ago. That was fun. So we came up with the drawing and everything. We had someone else draw it for us on the pumpkin, and then we painted them. So that was fun. And then I tried one year to carve one, and this turned out okay. It could be a lot better, but that's my mushroom pumpkin. So unfortunately, I don't have a photo of it with the light on it, so it's kind of hard to see. But if you're watching the video version, you'll see both of those pumpkins. But if you're just audio version, I had a 16-bit pumpkin, and then that was painted, and then like an 8-bit pumpkin that was carved, and that's pretty much. That's like all I've done, which is kind of strange. My wife and I have talked a lot about like she really would like either a Zelda costume or like a Peach or a Daisy costume at some point, but she would like the full thing that's like probably hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy or hundreds of hours to sew yourself, that people will wear at events for cosplaying and everything. But that's what she wants. So maybe one of these days, we thought it'd be fun to go as Link and Zelda or something like that. But yeah, hasn't happened yet. I do want to point out as well, Nintendo has this site called Play Nintendo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this site at all, but it's play.nintendo.com, and they actually have several different things on there. So if you're watching the video version, we're just scrolling on the screen, but they have several different things for you, especially if you have kids in your family. It's a great place to go, and you can see costume ideas, you can see pumpkin carving ideas. They even have stencils on there, so you can draw a Splatoon stencil on your pumpkin if you want to. They have different polls and things about costumes, or like which costume would match your Halloween style. They have puzzles that you can do, and a pumpkin diorama, and all this different stuff that's on there. So just head over to play.nintendo.com, and you can see all the different things that Nintendo has there for you and your family, especially if you have kids. It's a fun website to check out. Either guys have anything else to say about Halloween and Nintendo before we move on to the next story?
I know at a previous workplace, I actually had like a full-on like Mario costume. Like my ex had made like the actual Mario hat, because that was before that Club Nintendo actually had that as a reward. So like she actually had to like get like a red cap and then painted like a little white circle with the red M on it, and then had pretty much got like a set of overalls and stuff from Goodwill or whatever. But that was a number of years ago, and then pretty much on my list is I would really like to be Marth, but that requires dyeing my hair, and I've been pretty uncertain if I really want to do that. So like I would go full extreme.
Get a wig.
Good. Or just dye it back or cut it off. It's good. It's hair. It's fine.
Cut it off.
I don't know about if I want to go with the berry look quite yet.
I like the buzz cut. It's nice.
Nice. I've always just been
just get a wig.
scared. That works.
Yeah.
You've been scared?
I don't know,
Scared to shave your head?
Yeah. Because I'm afraid of what my head looks like. It's like I may have weird bumps up there and everything, like, and it'd take a while for the hair to grow back.
In the summer, it's glorious because it's nice and cool. And even in the winter, you just wear a hat. Like, it's so much easier to take care of this. You wake up, you're done. You get to bed, you're done. Like, that's it. You don't ever have to worry about it getting messy, because you could just, nothing happens.
That's true.
Yeah, the main thing I have like with like wigs and like fake hair is like my aunt had got me like one of those like fake mustaches, and it like somehow triggered like my gag reflex or whatever when I had it like stuck to my face before I had like the real one. So I just would worry like a piece of hair falling out of the wig and somehow getting like near my mouth or something. But I would probably be best off
putting a wig over your face, triggering your gag reflex.
I don't think you're wearing it right.
It doesn't mean that the hair is just like permanently attached to the wig, though. I mean,
it's true.
the
Yeah.
wig
Well, you
can
get a good
slide
wig.
down off
Buy
my
a cheap
head, or
wig.
yeah.
Get a good wig.
No, Dollar
Look,
Tree wig. If all
no,
fall
get a
out within
Dollar
the first
Tree.
hour.
Honestly, wigs are, especially now, they're made really well. Um, if you don't get like a cheapo, um, like my mother used to wear wigs all the time due to chemo, and they were great. They never fell out, never had any of that issue, and she loved it because she could change her hairstyle easily, just put on a new wig. So I'm sure you could, even if you get a wig and then you can spray paint it blue or whatever,
Well, yeah,
and then
yep.
you just done.
There you go. Cool.
That might be a future project down the line then.
There you
I
go.
would think that would be easier than dyeing your hair. It's less permanent for sure.
Yeah, dye it. Go for it. Looking at the chat, Jakester said he never dressed up as a video game character before, but would always dress up as a Star Wars character. And his uncle dressed up as Mario before, and a friend of his did Luigi. So, yeah, like there's so many cool costumes that you can just get at like Walmart and Target nowadays, like at the Halloween stores and things like that. Like those were not around when we were kids. We had to make those things if we were going to do that sort of thing. My first turtle costume was awful. It was bad, and now I could go and spend $20 at the store and buy something that's 20 times as better. But that just wasn't an option at the
My
time.
first costume, like or at least one of my earliest costumes, was I did Godzilla, and literally I had a cardboard box with the mouth made out of cardboard that went over my head as my helmet. I literally was wearing a brown paper bag, spray painted silver and green and gold to be like the scales, wearing like a green, like long sleeve shirt underneath it, and a little tail and spikes on the back of it. And I like would win contests because it would be like, oh, this was really crafty. And this was the 80s, of course. We didn't have those type of stores. Now you can go to Walmart and find a Mario costume called Italian Plumber Addicted to Mushrooms, because it's not officially done by Nintendo. So, you could find those very easily.
It's true. It's true.
I love the names they always give the
Yeah.
Nintendo characters.
Well, I hope you guys all have a happy Halloween, get lots of candy, and all that fun stuff on October 31st. But let's move on. There's been a little bit of stuff going around with Bayonetta 3. So, Barry, how would you fill us in on what's going on? Like, really, we were talking about this earlier before the show. Like, there's not a whole lot to really discuss. But in case for some reason you've missed what's going on, give us a little summary of what's happened over the last couple of weeks with Bayonetta 3.
So this is like a weird ethical question and ethical issue, as well as pointing out that people like to jump to conclusions with torches and pitchforks immediately. The internet is very reactionary, and it's unfortunate that it is reactionary. Now, the baseline ethical question of whether or not voice actors should be paid more money is absolutely something that should happen, but that's a whole different conversation, and that needs to be addressed. That voice actors absolutely deserve to be paid, a living wage, what they're worth, and everything for that. But that's not what this is about. What this is about is Helena Taylor, who is the voice actor for actress for Bayonetta 1 and 2, came out of nowhere with a video asking fans to boycott Bayonetta 3 because she was only offered $4,000 for the entire game, and then went on to even attack Jennifer Hale, who is the new voice actress for Bayonetta 3. Helena Taylor hasn't done, as far as I know, hasn't done any voice acting since Bayonetta 2, and doesn't have a lot on her resume versus Jennifer Hale, who's in a bunch of games, like a really established voice actress. So right off the bat, people were immediately on boycotting Bayonetta. How could you do this? First off, they attacked Nintendo. Nintendo, I don't think had anything to do with this. Attacked Platinum. I'm boycotting. I'm canceling pre-orders. She urged people to give money to a charity instead, because she says the game is like a $450 million franchise and they only paid me $4,000 and I am Bayonetta. Again, the internet being super reactionary immediately latched onto that, attacked Platinum. Platinum's head, of course, is terrible on Twitter to begin with, said the baseless accusations, wound up blocking so many people because he's known for blocking people, that Twitter accused him of being a bot and shut his own Twitter down, which he then, I think, deleted. Maybe he brought it back. I don't know. But it wasn't a really good look. And people, again, said, oh, they're guilty. Then, like a day or so later, there was news articles from Bloomberg and a bunch of other sites that said that what they had heard, what she had said was incorrect, that they had offered between $3,000 to $4,000 per session for 4 to 5 sessions for the entire game, and that it was not the $4,000. She then, and she was saying like, "Oh, I deserve 6 figures because of the $450 million franchise," which I don't know if you know this about video games, but when they're sold even at retail, the Platinum and Nintendo don't take the $60 and walk away with it. The retailer gets 20%. The developers get some. The publisher gets some. The console maker, in this case Nintendo, gets some. The money gets divided, so it's not all going to one person and pocketing it. And there's a lot of developers that work on this game. There's a lot of programmers, a lot of music. It's just a lot of people made Bayonetta 3. So to punish everybody for this is what she was calling for. Some people called unethical, wrong. So then Jennifer Hale was just kind of like I'm not going to say much, like I'm not going to jeopardize my own relationship. You want to burn your bridges, go for it. And now it came out today because now people started attacking Helena Taylor. She defended herself by saying that now she was offered $10,000 at first, was then offered $15,000, turned it down, and then later, 11 months later, they sent a message saying, "Hey, would you like to do a cameo for 4,000?" And it would just be a cameo role, a really short thing, just so that you can get in there. So suddenly her story is very different than what she originally came out, which obviously leads to don't believe everything at face value. Now people are suddenly rebuying the game. It's really a weird situation. Bayonetta 3 has been a hot topic. I think it's got more coverage over this week than the entire history of the game being announced back at the Game Awards like 2 years ago. And so many people weren't even aware of the game and now are buying it because they're like, oh, I didn't know this was coming out. I don't follow games new media, and they're buying it. So at the end of the day, the question is of should voice actors get paid what they're worth and a living wage? Of course they should be paid properly. But if you stop and think and say, why wouldn't Platinum only give 4,000 and then get Jennifer Hale, who's a higher quality voice actor, like a bigger resume, like definitely would command more than 4,000? That doesn't make sense. So we don't know all the sides of the story. There's definitely some things that we may never know. She hasn't produced any writings or any transcripts or anything like that, even though she's already broke NDA. So what does it matter? So the question isn't should voice actors get paid more, because the answer is yes, they should be paid what they're worth. The question is should voice actors come out like this? Should the internet and gamers instantly react? Should we wait for more time? Should we get all the information? Platinum, did they handle it right or wrong? And at the end of the day, is this going to affect or sour your enjoyment of the game?
Yeah. Greg, what do you think about all this?
We had a few things that I found that Barry didn't include. So I saw like some people did discover where she came up with this $450 million franchise. So like Bayonetta has always been like a more niche like franchise, and pretty much what she did is took all the sales of Bayonetta 1 and 2, all the different versions of the game, and then multiplied it by 60 to get 450 million. So like doesn't, even if the other games weren't even charged like $60 but way back for Bayonetta 1 or 2, then those were counted at 60. I guess like if you did like the actual math like a number of other people did, they found that huge loophole in that like valuation of the franchise. So I obviously that's completely incorrect and probably way overstated. It's not like it's as big as like she's trying to make it seem to be. So but yes, she does deserve to get paid like what it's worth, like closer to like that or whatever. So I'm not trying to argue that she doesn't deserve more or anything like that. Then, in addition, I think the replacement actress did issue a statement saying like there's lots of people like working on the game, like there's coders and programmers and testers and other people that deserve like put in a lot of effort. It's not only the voice actress like getting paid or whatever for the position. And that's ultimately true that you could be hurting the franchise overall and also other people that worked really hard on the game just by trying to boycott it. So it's not really worth the effort and going through that unless you have something personally against the series or maybe just don't like the series at all. But um, I think it would be pretty cool to actually check out. I mean, it's been on my list to hopefully get one day, but I just haven't really had the time to sink into the series. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's not affected my decision to buy or not buy the game at all. But I think kind of answering your question, Barry, and answering that, I think, I'm okay if because I think a lot of people aren't paid what they should be paid. And so I'm totally fine, if they feel like, they need to, in order to enact change, that they need to make things public and make people aware of certain things, then I think that's fine, as long as they're not breaking any laws or anything like that,
Breaking
or
NDAs.
if they're breaking NDA, then that's tough. That's a tough call. Is it okay to sometimes do that for the sake of what you're trying to accomplish? Maybe. I can't say a blanket statement across the board that that's always okay or not always okay, but I think that's something they have to figure out. But I think no matter what, like if you're going to do that, you've got to do it in the correct way, and you can't go lying about stuff. Like everything, if you're going to go to that extent in order to make us take a stand to hopefully enact change, like you've got to have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, because you're going to get naturally, like you're going to be thrown in the public eye, and people are going to be, jumping on your side or going against you naturally, and you've got to be exactly where you need to be. And if you find out like all of a sudden you're lying, like nothing's going to hold up anymore. All of a sudden, what your opinion, your thoughts, and everything, no one cares anymore, and you've totally lost any influence that you might have had in order to enact the correct change. That's really unfortunate.
And one of the things is she was talking about paid a living wage, and people did the math depending on what it is. It's like 750,000 to a $750 to $1,000 an hour is what she was paid. Would have been paid, which is like way more, like $9 and change is what the average U.S. average living wage is. So it's way more than the U.S. average. So if that's your one role for the entire year, that's on you. If you
Yep.
choose to take a role that's going to be 4 to 5 sessions of 4 hours each, and say, well, that's what my only work for the entire year. Yeah, I expect you to pay me over 100,000. That's on you. That's
Yeah.
not on them, because you choose to only work 20 hours in the entire year.
Right.
You can absolutely work that you're free to do more jobs, and that's what a lot of voice actors do. They'll do multiple jobs, and especially the big scripts. I mean, I definitely think with a bigger script, obviously you should get paid more. This is a smaller script because it's an action game. There's vocals, but it's not like a JRPG where you've got hundreds of pages worth of dialogue to read. That's a whole different ball game, and you're obviously paid more. Do I think that she should get paid more if she's got the qualifications and she does a good job, which obviously she does, because Bayonetta 1 and 2, and the movie and all that, people really enjoyed her voice. So yeah, I do think she could do a little more, but I think it might have been arrogance too. I think she was, maybe she was insulted, so if she got a little arrogant, because if you watch her videos, she talks about all her years of school, which kind of like leads to a little bit of arrogance, like, oh, I am worth that much. And if you feel you're worth that much, then that's fine. Then you should decline a job and go for something that pays you what you think you're worth. But then don't blast a previous job because they didn't pay you what you thought you were worth. They gave you an offer, you chose to
You signed it.
decline it.
Or declined
you
it, yeah.
declined it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't agree to those terms, and you were free to decline it. And they said, okay, we'll find a replacement. What did Jennifer Hale get? We don't know, but I highly doubt it was $4,000 for the entire thing. She might have looked at $20,000 for 20 hours and said, I can do that and continue working and doing other things, and then I get to be Bayonetta, cool, and would have just not saying anything, and she could have agreed to it. The fact that they reached back out after 11 months to say, do you want to do a cameo? Like, here's just a quick cameo for $4,000, which would have been a session of 3 to 4 hours, which would have been $750 to $1,000 an hour. Great. Like, that was them saying, look, we didn't come to terms. Would you like to at least be a part of it in some way? And I guess she looked at that as an insult. Which it's like, you're doing a small cameo. Like, what.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it's a messy situation. I do not wish ill on any party. I love every party. I think every party deserves respect. And if you do have thoughts on this, I hope that you're respectful to us, to them, to every party involved. Because the internet would be a lot better if we all just got along and at least discussed things civilly without getting those pitchforks and torches out right away. But that's exactly what the internet did when those original videos dropped. It was pretty nasty. And that now you have the reverse. Now you have all the people that were saying, like, you're jumping to conclusions, all I told you so's. I told you so. You were stupid to go and jump at a conclusion. And you take this as a learning example. Like, take this as, don't take anything at face value. Do the research yourself. Wait till you have all the facts to make an educated decision. And if you don't care enough, then just walk away. But don't just immediately attack people based on a reactionary and emotions, just because one person says something, because that has detrimental value. Because now if the game actually sells worse than what they expect, they probably can take legal action and sue for defamation on the game and on the publisher. And that's a whole nother can of worms that I don't know if she wants to do. And it wouldn't surprise me if Platinum decided to do that after the financial struggles they're going through with Babylon's Fall and what previously happened with Scalebound and having to take Wonderful 101 to Kickstarter and stuff like that. But Platinum Games is not in a good financial position, so they don't need this. This is just going to be detrimental. So who knows what's going to happen at this point? But just wait till all the facts. You can pick a side, do the research. But yeah, that's kind of what happened this past week in Bayonetta.
Well, it struck at the right time because there was nothing else in the news except for that. That's pretty much it. But we do have some other smaller stories that we wanted to make sure that we hit, and they are still important. Wasn't as, top headline worthy as Bayonetta 3, but it are still important, and we'll make sure that you guys know all about that. So, Greg, go ahead and kick us off with these headlines.
So that awesome last Nintendo Direct we had revealed that Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 and some other N64 games will be coming to Nintendo Switch Online. So just over this last few weeks here, we received word that Mario Party and Mario Party 2 will be added to the Nintendo Switch Online shop on November 2nd. So you can relive all the glory days of playing Mario characters in their original costumes on those awesome board maps that they're well known for.
And in Nintendo's continued effort to destroy physical media, they decided to do a little promotion going on. Starting November 1st, you can get double gold points on only select titles, and these titles, DLC as well, but this also apparently is if you are an expansion pack member. So if you just have the standard Nintendo Switch Online, you do not get these double points. But if you do have the expansion pass, you could then, of course, get double gold points. If you choose to buy digital. Why would you buy digital?
A funny thing is they're doing half of that right away and half of it in February, I think, after the promotion is over, which is so strange and so Nintendo. And also in that same news story, you can start getting Nintendo 64 themed icons. They're coming to the Nintendo Switch Online and expansion pack members, and you can just head over to the My Nintendo store and check those out. So if you like changing your icon on your Nintendo Switch, you can now get some Nintendo 64 icon elements to do that. For me, I still have my Mii on there because I'm old school.
And we talked a lot about the Halloween costumes for us, but if you're still playing Nintendo Switch Sports, then you can also dress up your avatar character in some different Halloween gear. So from October 19th all the way through November 9th, you can unlock some variety of clothing, accessories, hairstyles, gear, and everything for Nintendo Switch Sports.
And to follow along with that, Mario Kart Tour is getting into the festive, spooky spirit. The new Halloween tour is going on right now. Newly added courses include the Boo Lake from Mario Kart Super Circuit, the Twilight House Battle Arena from the DS version, the Ghost Valley from the Super Nintendo release, and Donut Plains as well from the Super Nintendo release. In addition, since Mii's have been included into the game, there's a whole bunch of different costumes you can get, and they just added the Dry Bones Mii racing suit, as well as PD Piranha in gold was added, as well as a selection of seasonal carts and gliders.
Nice. So, Greg, any thoughts about any of these stories or all of them?
I'm definitely very excited for Mario Party and Mario Party 2 to be launching, but one thing we didn't include is they did have a little reminder about GoldenEye, and I really wish they would give a timeline for that, because they made it seem like that was coming like really soon or like this year even. Otherwise, they would have noted it in the ones for next year, like they did for Mario Party 3 and the other games that they announced for that. But yeah, and then the double gold points obviously is appreciated if you are buying new games and stuff, and you still can get gold points for physical games if you hit the plus when you have the game in the system, so you can register it that way. So that's always cool there. And I'm pretty much done playing Nintendo Switch Sports. I haven't booted it up since, I don't know, like May, June. So probably not going to be turning it on just to get a few more costumes, because I've already missed quite a bunch of them since then. And I haven't really been playing Mario Kart Tour, but I have been kind of getting more interested to resume because of they removing that gotcha stuff we talked about last time. So maybe I might actually have to tune in and try it out.
Yeah, I'm the same with you. I kind of, this is yet another thing that's going to push me. I think I still have it on my phone, but I need to actually boot it up. With all this being included, I haven't even started Nintendo Switch Sports, Greg. So you're a little bit further along me. At least you have the game. I don't. But yeah, all this stuff is pretty cool. I'm most excited, of course, about Mario Party 1 and 2. Really interested to see how those will operate on the Switch controllers, and if I will need to get a glove to protect my palm. That's really the important thing. But yeah, or if they've somehow done something different for that game, I don't know. I don't think they will, but they probably won't issue the same gloves as they used to. But Barry, what do you think about all this?
Instead, you'll just give yourself the drift.
That's true.
By wrecking the joystick.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Mario Kart 2 I'm already playing, so I have the Dry Bones outfit, and working towards the gold PD Piranha, which comes from the tour, winning the tour, which the first half of it ends tomorrow. Love that they've added so many courses. Like if you haven't played Mario Kart Tour since the beginning, or just in a while, like the amount of courses that are now in that game that are on cycles, like you won't see courses for like 2 months or 3 months, because there's so many courses that are now cycled through. And now that they've added in battle modes, it's interesting, because there's battle arenas from the Super Nintendo, Black Fort from like the N64 and the DS and the Wii, like battle arenas from across the stages, like all the different games. So there's a ridiculous amount of courses now. Like you go to the wiki and there's like it's like insane the amount of courses in that game that are on cycle. So you don't really have time to get bored of a course because even if it's like, oh, I'm not a real fan of it, it'll be gone and you won't see it for months. By the time it comes back, it's like, oh, you know what? I haven't done this one in a while. It's not too bad. So yeah, I'm glad that they're keeping it up, and they got rid of the gotcha and all that stuff. As for the other things, I'm in between Greg and Steve here. So Greg has Nintendo Switch Sports and has played it, and Steve hasn't played Nintendo Switch Sports and doesn't have it, and I haven't played it, but I do have it. So I'm right in between. So none of this excites me for Nintendo Switch Sports. Gold points, I already do it, the plus with the physicals, but I'm not going to purchase special games just to get double gold coins. The N64 icons don't really do much for me. I'm happy with my Xenoblade 3 ones right now. And Mario Party 1 and 2, I'm glad to see them there, but I really want Club Nintendo to offer gloves as a physical reward, because one of those that got a blister on my hand and it hurt so badly, and I never got a glove, but they need to, because there's going to be so many people drifting Joy-Cons and injuries again, because Mario Party 1 is rough.
Yeah.
It is a rough game.
Yeah. Somehow, so this is all like, I don't know how this all worked out, but I played a lot of Mario Party, and me and the circles that I ran in, that I played with, we did not figure out that the best way was to play it that way, to circle with your palm. And so we were doing it with our thumbs, which was not the best way, and sucking at the game, but we saved our palms. So I guess it was a win in the long run.
Like Tug of War was one that really made me do it, but the one that I have nightmare fuel on was the one where you're on a bicycle and you got to pedal to light up the light bulb before the boo gets you. And the only way it's a soloing, and you're just like, just going as fast as you can, because if you don't, you're pretty much dead. Like the amount of time you have is so tight in doing it, and you barely win using that. So you, like so many N64, like if you get a used N64 controller now, you could almost tell if they played Mario 64
like flop,
because
flop,
you
flop.
pick it up and the
Yeah.
control stick just flops. Like there's no more friction. Like it needs to be replaced. They've worn out all the rubber inside. So yeah, like.
So all my 64 controllers are actually in good shape because I didn't do that. I don't know why.
GameCube had the same issue too. GameCube controllers, it was the same like kind of analog stick, the same issue though. Like after a while, it rubs out. But
Yeah.
Mario Party just man.
Greg, were you did you use your palm to circle the analog stick?
See, I'd never actually played the first Mario Party game, so I didn't have that experience with that game. But I don't think any of the games in 2 actually used the control stick, because I think the gloves were intended for the first one.
Yeah, because they
At least
learned from
from my
one, and they said we're not going to
yeah.
make the same mistake until Superstar.
Yeah.
When they decided to bring like Tug of War back for some stupid reason. And not fix it. They brought it back, which is fine, but they didn't change the controls.
They just were encouraged to give yourself Joy-Con drift,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not our fault that you abuse the controller.
Game.
Like I never thought about this. I know they advertised it, but it's just now clicking with me. Like this will be the first time we can play those Mario Party games online.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I never thought. I don't know why. It just
everyone
just now
give yourself blisters together.
Yeah. So we'll have to play Mario Party together sometime.
I think I would purposely lose that game. I'd be like, no fair. I want to mulligan. Like, I wish you could turn off games. Like, you would turning all those off from the thing would be a smart thing to do, because it's not fair for anybody to put themselves in physical harm to win a board game.
You don't have to win the game. You don't have to play the game.
But then you don't win the stars.
Yeah, you need to play the game to win stars.
You don't get stars from winning.
You get coins, but you use the coins to buy the stars. So indirectly, you do.
Or the bonus stars. If you win the most ones, but then you wasted one, you might not get the most. So
exactly.
Everything equals a star. Well, let's move into the games that are coming out over the next couple weeks. Kind of run those down. But before we do that, one more reminder: if you've not followed us on Twitter, just head over to @NintendoFuse, and especially for the next couple weeks, because we're going to be announcing that contest with Play NYC, and you're going to be able to get a chance to get free tickets for that event. So make sure you do follow us on Twitter @NintendoFuse, and also if you've not joined us in our Discord, make sure you head over there to that link that's on the screen or the link that's in the show notes or the YouTube description. Jump in there. We absolutely love connecting with you guys in between episodes and chatting games and everything else. So make sure you do that. Also hit the subscribe button and all those things as well. But we're going to have quite the length of games coming out this next couple weeks. As I was looking at this, like the next couple days are like, but then it hits this stride that, oh my gosh, there's some big games. So if you're watching the video version, as always, we're scrolling the list from Metacritic on the screen so you guys can see what's coming out over the next couple weeks until our next episode on November 7th, 2022. But just some notable games that maybe you want to know about. Resident Evil Village Cloud Edition comes out on October 28th. Bayonetta 3, which we've talked about at length today, on October 28th as well. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Galactic Edition, which includes like all the DLC plus I think Andor stuff and maybe some more. That's on November 1st. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, or TABS, comes out on November 3rd. It Takes Two comes out on November 4th. Harvestella comes out on November 4th. Sonic Frontiers on November 8th. And Oddworld Soulstorm Automized Edition on November 8th, which is be the day after our next episode. So that one and Sonic Frontiers, but hey, it's the day after the next episode. You guys need to know about it now. And as Barry alluded to earlier in the episode, we do have codes for that, so we're going to be talking more at length about that game on the next episode as well. Barry, what are you hoping to play over the next couple weeks?
So my plan is to finish Mario and Rabbids, Bayonetta 3, Star Ocean. The new Star Ocean comes out right before Bayonetta 3, like a day before, but Bayonetta 3 is a shorter game, so I'm probably going to do that. Then Star Ocean, then Harvestella, because that's going to be out at that point, and that's going to lead into, I'm not sure when God of War comes out, but I'm not sure if God of War comes out before Pokemon or what, and then Pokemon. So like the end of October and November, I got like 5 big games that I'm looking forward to playing, all jumped in together, and on top of doing things like, podcasts that I've been guesting on, and obviously like Play NYC and stuff like that, and just regular life and games like Oddworld for review and stuff like that. It's insanity. Like sometimes there's like months where it's like there's no game I'm interested in, and I'm going through the backlog or whatever. And now it's like I have game on top of game on top of game before I even get to it. So who knows? It's gonna be a crazy holiday season.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then there might be some surprises that we don't know about yet.
That's true.
Yeah. Greg, what are you going to be playing over the next couple weeks?
Most definitely will be hitting the backlog. Like I'll probably actually want to play more of Carl, and then probably even look into some other games. I got a review code for that Sea Horizon game that we all like from that one East Asia Soft Direct.
Oh,
so
nice.
they sent me a code for that. Also be looking to see, I think there's some other games for me to be checking out as well. And then I still need to probably play more Splatoon 3, and then still need to pick up some other games I've been neglecting for quite a while. Yeah, that's on the list to try to find. I'm still looking for the used copy. I've been calling some of the stores, and they haven't had any in stock yet. So
no one's trading it in. It's too good.
or just not quick enough. I don't know. But most likely just playing games, trying to continue playing ones that I've already started or started a while back, and also look at a lot of the ones that just came out over the last 2 months that I haven't purchased yet. Like I do want to get Mario and Rabbids 2. Enjoying you guys playing Sparks of Hope. Still haven't even picked up Triangle Strategy. That's on my list. I saw that there's a sale for that that started yesterday or today, I think, even. So I'm probably finally getting that one. Yeah, there's just way too many games to play and not even anywhere near enough time.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
only for Switch. I don't have Barry's problem of having all three
yeah,
consoles.
yeah. Jakester just said God of War is November 9th, and I think Pokemon is like the 18th. So it's like now, like I'm almost feeling like Harvestella might have to be pushed to December to keep my sanity. Maybe even Bayonetta 3. I might wind up pushing that and do Star Ocean instead, like because I don't know if I could do Bayonetta 3 and then Star Ocean before God of War. Like I don't know. I have to see my schedule.
Yeah, because those are not simple, quick games.
Well, Bayonetta 3 is a quicker game, but Harvestella,
Yeah,
Star Ocean, God of War, and Pokemon are all big titles.
yeah. That's some significant gamage there, for sure. Wow.
But at least we're having fun,
That's
hopefully.
true. That's true. Looking at the chat, Jakester says going to finish the post game story for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and getting it back to Paper Mario and close to finishing Mother 3. And then Hiawatha says took Ghostbusters to finally pull him away from Pokemon Unite. And Logan just keep working on that backlog, nothing in particular. And I think I definitely gonna be continuing to play Mario plus Rabbids, and hopefully finish the main story, and then I'll go back and see how far I get with 100%ing the game. But that's that was my goal from the very beginning, and then those stinking side quests keeps sucking me in. So we'll see if that happened. But yeah, I actually, now that I have learned more about the proper way to apparently play Carl, and I was not playing the proper way, I'm definitely going to get back into that and see if I can grind a little bit and then take out that boss for sure. And then hopefully, I've been saying it for a while, but hopefully get back into Life is Strange 2. But Mario plus Rabbids is really taking a lot of my time. I actually have not played nearly as much Rocket League over the last couple weeks because of Mario and Rabbids. So,
I bet that's a sentence you never thought you would say.
oh yeah, that I'm playing less Rocket League because of a tactical game. Oh,
It's so much charm in it, though.
there is. It's so good. Yeah. There's like really all the things that I have that are negative really aren't even negative, and it's such a small list, and they're all like teeny little things that do not matter at all. The game is really, really good.
Even the rabbits aren't annoying. Like some people's like rabbits are normally annoying. Like they're not
Yeah.
annoying. Like all the characters are fine. Sometimes I
Yeah.
forget they're actually rabbit characters. They're really good.
Well, and I was annoyed by the rabbits for a long time. That's one of the reasons why I didn't try Kingdom Battle, because like number one, it was a tactical game, but number two, I really was not a fan of the rabbits at all. They annoyed me. But yeah, like I'm totally okay with them and kind of liking them now. Like
Yeah,
Rabbid Mario is awesome.
it's funny.
Is like this brute, character that's just like I'm gonna punch things and I don't care. Kind of like it's charming, it's fun. Like Rabbid Rosalina is just sleepy all the time, which is really funny. And yeah, I love being able to get to know the characters, and I really like how they all have their unique weapons and strategies and all that stuff, and trying to put those together and stuff. I think the only, like, one of my things about it was I don't I wish there was a way to get all the information, then switch back and change the character, and then like I have to remember it all and then go back into the menu and change the sparks or change the characters. But my memory is short, and so I'm like flipping back and forth between the screen and doing that.
I usually just stick with one team until like the side quest that requires you to play with other
Oh, do you
characters.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
I've been swapping it out quite a bit and swapping out
No.
sparks quite a bit, based on who I'm facing in that
I'm
battle.
I'm using my team that I did in the first game because it really worked for me. But
Okay.
one thing that's interesting is the first game required you to have one Mario character and one rabbit, and the third character was anyone you wanted.
Mm.
And this game, you don't have that restriction. You can
Yep.
have three Mario characters or three rabbit characters, which I thought was really interesting because some people are like, I don't like the rabbits. Well, you don't have to play with them unless the side quest deems you need to. You
Hmm.
could play all Mario characters. What's weird for me, and I haven't gotten there yet, is what's the deal with Yoshi? Like Yoshi was one of the characters, and so was
Hmm.
Rabbid Yoshi in the original game. And Yoshi, at least at this point, hasn't shown up. Like, why would they omit him completely as well as the Rabbid version? Unless he's in the final world, or the fourth world or something. Because I haven't
Mm,
gotten him, and
I
I'm
know
like,
how many characters there are, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm also not sure if well, I guess all the embargoes are now passed. So even if I did remember it,
yeah,
or if I could tell you, I can't remember it. So it doesn't matter. But I do know
that'd
there
be
is a
weird.
set amount of characters. I'll have to look it up and I'll let you know later how many
Yeah,
it
'cause-
is.
don't tell me if he is. Like, I just hope he's there because I didn't ever use Yoshi, but I love Yoshi, and it would be weird to have a character in the first game and then cut him inexplicably from the second game, and like Mario plays the same as Mario in the first game, and Peach, like they're all the same. It's just the new characters play different, and the
Hmm.
sparks that add stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The sparks are pretty great. Like
I still haven't powered any of them up. I'm
really.
still using level 1 sparks.
All mine are at 3 and one of them's at 4 right now.
Yeah,
But
I have thousands upon thousands of the bits, but I haven't powered up any of them yet. I'm still using
nice.
level 1. I'm
You're
just
playing Mario and Rabbids like I'm playing Carl.
yeah, I'm seeing
Although
how
I'm
far
doing
I
it on
go
accident.
I was gonna
Nice.
say this should help Steve get into Fire Emblem now because you told me a while back you were always interested in playing him, and now you're playing tactical games. So
No.
let's
If
boot up a good
if
old
they
Fire
make
Emblem.
it like Mario and Rabbids, then maybe they take away that grid and they open up the world and all that stuff, then possibly, maybe. But I don't know. I think it just really
What's wrong with
works.
grids?
I like the what's that?
What's wrong with grids though?
Oh, I feel too constrained. I feel like after you play Mario and Rabbids without the grid,
Yeah,
I think you'll understand what I mean. Like
and
all of a sudden you're like, oh, the freedom that I have, this doesn't feel like a traditional tactical game that I always felt constrained by it. And this feels more like I get this. This is strategy. It's almost kind of like, and this is a weird analogy. I was thinking this last night when I was playing, but it's another grid-based thing, but it almost feels like chess in a way. Like I'm gonna make my moves, and then I like make the other moves, but there's more freedom in it. So if you had chess, but just picture that you can move your pawns and your knights wherever you wanted, that made more sense to attack from here and there
yeah.
and all that stuff.
I don't remember in the first game, like when you moved, was it like that was it? You were done. You moved your designated location,
You
and you
can
were
move
stuck
one
there.
more time after
One more.
you attack, and you can't
See,
in this one.
yeah, I love how that's fine because this one you can move wherever you want beforehand. So like the range of movement in this is so good because you have the jump, the
Hmm.
friend jump, and then you have like the springboards, and you could just go
Yeah.
so far. And like if one character lags behind, you could actually bring another character back so they could jump off of them, and then you can move the other character back forward. Like you can't move once you shoot, but that's the only action that you can't move after. You could do any
Mm.
of the actions, and you could do 2 actions per turn.
Yeah.
So you
When
really
you
have
can
freedom.
and you can level up certain characters, I think I have Edge has 3 dashes right now, and
Yeah.
like putting like chaining all those attacks together right now, it's just like sometimes it's awesome. Like I've beat some enemies without even using my main attack because they
I
were I keep saying that's not what it actually is. They're vulnerable, but I keep saying allergic. I don't know why. But in my mind, I think, oh, they're allergic to shock, so I'm going to use shock. And like I have Edge with right now with the spark that has a dash shock, and so I'll just do like 3 dashes and done.
I did the first, well, the first of the Spark Hunters. Um, I beat her all 3 phases on the very first turn each phase without doing anything,
Mm.
because all I did was set up Mario and Luigi with their scopes
Oh
so
yeah,
that they would auto attack if anyone moved, and used well, not Rosalina, used Rabid Peach, used a fire spark on her attack so it hit the boss from wherever. So she started running around, and they just kept
bam,
pinging him
bam, bam.
left and bang, 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 bang. Every one I won in the first turn. I'm like, oh my
Nice.
god, that was
That's
insane.
that's a good strategy. Nice.
I was like, holy shit. Like, I can't believe the second boss you can't, or the second hunter, you can't do that because you got to go to the corners. But I was like, I can't believe they let me do that. Like, that's like, there's some combinations that you could play around with the sparks,
Yeah.
and you could really become OP.
That's true. It's true. Greg, when are you
Fun
getting
game.
it?
Well, if I don't end up picking it up soon, it will most definitely be on my Christmas list later this year. So I don't know if I'll be getting it soon or what, because I still have to get the Life is Strange package that you remind me that was the one that was eluding me in my head that I knew that was also on my list. Then Tunic was also on that list too to look into getting
So
as
many good
well.
games.
It's true.
So there's like at least 4 or 5 games I still need to buy that I've been neglecting to buy even. So
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you've not noticed my shirt, we have a link in our show notes. You can use the link from Ripped Apparel to buy shirts, and we get some kickbacks. So we need to buy games. So if you want to buy some NintendoFuse merch as well, we get a little kickback from that if you want to support us, because we have lots of video games to buy. But
We got lots of comments in the chat. You might want to go through. Lots of new people
we
popping up,
do.
too.
A lot of people jumping in here at the very end. So Hiawatha says maybe they should have left rabbits as enemies in Zombie U so you could kill them. That's awesome. I didn't. Were they left them as rabbits? Like, were they in there?
I never played Zombie U, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's Ubisoft.
That'd be awesome if it was. Pez guy Mike says I want to see Rabid Samus. Is that too much to ask? That would be fantastic, especially they got the weapons. Like,
Yeah.
that they need that. Husson's in there and says it's interesting that the free roaming actually turned him off from the sequel and he didn't buy it. It's interesting that we ended up liking it more because of that.
I like it more.
It is interesting. Also, let's see. I think, is that it? Did I miss anything? Yeah.
Hassan says Mario and Rabbids will be on sale on $20 in a few weeks because it's Ubisoft. Black Friday.
Like Kingdom Battle is really quick to the sale bin. No matter like how much it sold, they'll knock down the price. So cool. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 261. Barry, you going to be on any other podcasts and stuff with premium and other stuff coming up?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of different stuff lined up because that's just the crazy thing that I do. I was just on a few. I was just on like Nintendo Pals last week, which was always a fun time to do, and was on the Game Deflators, like good friends of ours who showed up with us a couple episodes. Classic Gaming Brothers I was just with, and then coming up this week, tomorrow I am actually on a podcast called Super Retro Throwback. Later on this week, I'm also on Gamerheads podcast. This upcoming Sunday, I'm on a podcast talking all about Chrono Cross, good old Square Enix, or Squaresoft, actually. And then also another one called Keep Nintendo Weird Again, or Weird Together. And on top of that, I got Play NYC, which is coming up on November 5th. And the day before that, a bunch of podcasts like Nintendo Dads and Nintendo Pals and a bunch of others, like ones that I've been guested on and really good friends of mine. They're all apparently doing, there's a charity going on the 5th as well up in Rome, New York. So they're all going to Nintendo New Yeah, they're going to Nintendo New York on the 4th. So I'm like, oh, you're going to be in my backyard. So I'm
Nice.
might go to the city back to back just to go hang out with them at Nintendo New York.
Nice.
So if I do, I'll post pictures and talk about it. So yeah,
tell Marty at Nintendo Dad's hi for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Marty's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to be, when I was with Nintendo Dads, he was supposed to be there, but he had a little family tragedy, so he couldn't. But he's going to be there. All the Nintendo Dads are going to be there, so it's going to be really cool. So I'm thinking about, swinging on over, because they all invited me. They're like, oh yeah, I should totally just come on over. So if I'm there, maybe I'll wear the NintendoFuse shirt and we'll just take pictures or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, if I can make it, we'll see.
Nice. We'll try to sneak in some games in the middle of all that. Sounds like a pretty busy schedule.
Yes, it's busy because also I just want to quickly say, for Premium Edition, if you haven't got Love 3 or Eagle Out and Twist, they are ending on the 6th before our next podcast. So November 6th is the last day to pre-order those. So make sure you get them. And November 16th is going to be the start of Raji and They Bleed Pixels. So make sure to get your orders in at premiumeditiongames.com so you don't miss out on some fantastic physical games.
Cool. Greg, what are you going to be up to over the next couple weeks? You got some time off, so that's good.
We had some time off that I'll hopefully be catching up on some games. So I know Barry was saying he got so much stuff going on, but then you'll hear him say like, "Oh, I spent another 300 hours into Xenoblade, and also played 15 other games," and so I'm sure he'll have plenty of time for his game. So now that I have some time off, I'll probably hopefully be getting into Xenoblade 3 because I'm starting to reach the point where I might just buy the damn new copy of it anyways. So I didn't want to be waiting around forever, and especially with like a nice block, like a day block that I could be spent like playing the game and actually getting really absorbed into it would be possibly beneficial. So if that works and keeps me hooked, then I could probably play more into it. But if I hit some of those really stopping points like I did in the first game, then it'll be cold turkey gone. So
Yeah.
Barry's on mute, and I think he's trying to say something. He's getting.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you won't get that stopping block. It's a totally different game. But that's something I forgot to mention. I did go back to Xenoblade 3 actually, because the DLC happened for the expansion pass. So I did the new hero quest, which was awesome, and then I did the challenge battles, which was really tough, especially at the end. Even on easy was like insane to try and beat. But yeah, like you'll. I'm telling you, once you're like so close to the big hook of Xenoblade 3, you will thank me. Like absolutely, it is such a good game.
Nice.
But yeah,
Well-
it'll probably be some Halloween related activities for the weekend, doing some trunk or treats and trick or treating on next Monday, and then pretty much probably just a standard work week the following week with some other like activities with my daughter that I'll have her that week. So I'll have to see what can squeeze in there and hopefully get some good quality gaming time in with her. And if I have any extra time, I'll be trying to help Premium get some more distributors on board. So hoping to at least spend some of that time off to make some cold calls and helping out there too. So
Cool. Well, yeah. If you guys didn't catch it, I did an unboxing. Ubisoft was really nice to send over kind of a promo gift box on. I posted over on my gaming channel, so Games with Steve, and so you can check that out. And I think some people have been migrating over to NintendoFuse because of that. So hey, everybody, yeah, if you missed all the Mario and Rabbids footage and series of videos that we did, I got to do a really cool video or an interview with one of the associate producers on the game as well, Quentin Corrigi. So that's on our channel. And while you're at it, checking out the interviews, check out Barry's interview with for Play Anyone I See as well, and make sure you enter that and use NintendoFuse 25 if you want to save 25% on your tickets, or enter into run a contest on our Twitter at NintendoFuse. So I think that brings us to the end of episode 261. We'll be live again on November 7th for episode 262, and talking about probably all these games and more. Hopefully more news comes out, more than just Bayonetta 3 voice actors. But until then, everybody, happy gaming.
Have a good one.
take care. See you next time.